What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? I hope this message reaches you in good energy. I hope you and your loved ones are in good health. So, today I wanted to talk about communication, or rather, the lack of communication that I experience on a day to day. So, let's get into it because we have an awesome quote here today. Quote of the day: Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. Winston Churchill. Song of the day: Stand Up by T.I. So I cannot tell you the absurd amount of people who I communicate on a day to day with, and they are not in the process. They are not in the act. They do not have the communication skills to listen. That is not the point of them speaking. That is not the point of them speaking to you. And you, as a master communicator, should learn to be able to differentiate, analyze, and detect when someone is in that atmosphere and also be able to correct it, right? So let me explain what I'm talking about. When you talk to someone, you're giving them information. It depends on what you're talking about, on how that information is going to be given. But we're giving each other information. A conversation is you say something, I respond, I say something, you respond, right? Okay. A lot of people that I talk to are not listening to understand, they are listening to simply respond. Now, you do need to respond, but you should only respond after you understand what was just said to you. The best way to make sure that the person you're talking to does understand that you want to understand what they're saying is by making sure that you do understand before you respond. One of the tricks I always use is someone tells me something and I ask a clarifying statement rather than responding to it at first. For example, well, I think Batman is the greatest superhero of all time. So my clarifying response to that would be, so what you're telling me is out of all the superheroes in all the movies, in all the companies, Batman is the one that stands out the best to you, the one that you most identify with. That gives them time to retort. Then they get to say, yeah, I think Batman's the greatest out of DC, Marvel, Image, Dark Horse, Kaboom. Out of every single genre of comic book and hero, I think Batman's the best. Or they can say, well, no, I'm talking about in DC, Batman's the best. But in Marvel, I like Spider Man. In Image, I like Invincible. And you see what I'm saying? It gives them a chance to clarify their statement, to make a definitive statement, to double down, so to speak, on what they said, and or to pivot and further define their answer. Also, another trick I use when people are not listening to understand, I will say something and then ask them if they can repeat back to me what I said. I think that Spider Man having spider senses is one of the best abilities out there. So let me know, what do you think about what I just said? Tell me what I just said to you. Can you regurgitate what I just said to you? If they can regurgitate it in coherent and understanding fact, they're listening. If they don't, you now have someone who is not paying attention, or you are not successfully communicating with that person. You may need to say something different. The point of all this is to say that when you're having a conversation with someone and you start to notice that the conversation isn't going well, you need to identify why it's not going well. Is it you not listening? Is it you not communicating correctly? Is it you responding and not understanding? Or is it something on their side? And also, you need to understand and be able to differentiate people who just refuse to communicate with you. Those are people that we just shouldn't waste our time on, guys. And it's sad to say, but sometimes people are so polluted, toxic, and engaged in their own world and life and thinking that they refuse to communicate. With those people, you have to leave them to their own devices. Don't sacrifice your peace by continuing to communicate with somebody who is determined to misunderstand you. Once you've made your attempt, once you've analyzed the area of the failure to communicate and you try to rectify it, that's all you can do. That's all anyone can ask of you. You don't have to sacrifice your peace. You don't have to sacrifice your existence. You don't have to sacrifice your precious little time on this earth trying to communicate with someone who refuses to have the courage to sit down and listen. All right, guys, I need you to take care of yourselves. Please, please be kind to one another. Keep me in your prayers. I'll forever keep you in mind. Endure, believe, rise.